Do you ever just get bored and tired of The Sims 4 and wish that your Sims' lives had more depth? I have a ton of ways to make Sims more interesting and to give them detailed, complex lives that make me never want to put the game down. And in this video, I'm going to give 6 strategies to hopefully make your Sims' lives more dynamic and fun to play. I'm currently 7 generations into my Legacy save file, and I've been playing it almost every day since about 5 years ago, which is when I first got The Sims 4. And I love it. I'm not bored of it at all. And so I hope my strategies can give some more gameplay ideas. So let's get started. Strategy 1, make sure your Sims have at least one difficult trait, something like hot-headed or gloomy or overachiever, something that could make their lives a little bit more difficult. I'm someone who loves giving my toddlers the fussy trait, and I give my infants the intense trait. Like, I'm here for the Sims drama because playing The Sims is like telling a story for many players, including me. And what is a story without conflict? So this difficult trait that your Sim has could be decided by their upbringing, their relationships, or the environment that they were brought up in. So for this Sim, Anthea, her older sister is actually the Grim Reaper's daughter. They're both spellcasters. It's a whole spellcaster family. But then as a teenager, I gave her the paranoid trait. Her family has so much drama with fighting over money and who's the most powerful and lots of things like that. There's a lot of backstory here. But I feel like growing up in a house where the Grim Reaper was always coming around and there's lots of magic, and her family moved from Windenburg to Glimmerbrook. So they moved from like a city to a more secluded place just for safety and privacy. And so I feel like she's just grown up with this feeling of, I need to be safe and everywhere is dangerous. So that's why I gave her the paranoid trait. Her family also struggled a lot when she was younger, so I gave her the fabulously wealthy aspiration. She wants to have a lot of money and never worry about it again. He's not my Sims, so he doesn't have like the whole negative trait thing. He just married into the family. But he is, these other 2 Sims' father, and he has the super parent aspiration. So he wants to give these 2 a very good upbringing and make sure that they are set for life. So this is their older daughter, and she has the creative trait, which she got as a child. And then as a teenager, I gave her gloomy. She has the Renaissance Sim aspiration because she can't really decide what her specific interest is. She just can't focus on one thing, which is very different from her little sister. Her little sister, when she aged up to a child, she skyrocketed through the creative skill. She just went to level 10 in creativity in like a couple of days. And she's really into singing and a violin. So I had in my mind that Caroline here is like a little child prodigy, basically. So she has something she's very focused on, but her sister does not. So I feel like that kind of plays into her gloomy trait, but I really gave her that because of her upbringing with her mom, who was always paranoid and always thinking bad things are going to happen. And so that really affected her eldest daughter while she was growing up. She kind of inherited a little bit of that from her mom, but instead of becoming paranoid herself, it just made her sad. She's just sad all the time. And then our little child prodigy singer and violinist here, she is a snob and proper. So how does this affect gameplay? And how do all of the, traits and things I discussed in Cass affect the characters? Chantara has a close dynamic with her dad. He actually has a close dynamic with both of his kids. He really wants to be a good parent, but she is not very close to either her mom or her sister. It's just kind of about halfway there on friendship. And with her sister, she actually has bad compatibility, whereas her little sister is close with both parents, just not close with her sister. And Chantara actually has a strict dynamic with her mom. There was definitely some comparison growing up in this house where the little sister was always the amazing prodigy who was good at everything she did. And the older sister just kind of vibed and couldn't really pick one thing to stick to. Argue about who's better. They probably have that option because they're siblings, but I feel like actually Caroline would initiate that argument. So let's just do that, let's lean into the drama. She's like, all you care about is success and ambition. She's like, yeah, well, that's important to mom. You need to be stronger. You need to work harder. She's like, you're mean. I don't like you. It just keeps going. Ooh. Bad conflict resolution. I could see that for her. So that leads into my next strategy, which is to lean into all of your Sims' traits, all of their quirks, even their relationships. Just lean super hard into it and really let your Sim's personality come through in your gameplay. And what I mean by lean into things is if you have a destructive toddler, make them destroy things. If you have a gloomy Sim, make them complain all the time. Maybe they have a little journal where they write down all their gloomy thoughts. If you have a mean Sim, make them be mean. Because even if you have autonomy on or off, like whatever, sometimes your Sims just don't do things that align with their traits. They do something that will be completely out of character for their traits. And that just doesn't make sense to me. And if you have this trait, why not use it? It adds a lot to the storytelling potential for your game. So for the next household that we're in, this is Jade. Can I get a good angle? I might have to put my reshade on so you can see her better. She's actually the daughter of a serial killer and a werewolf. So werewolves, of course, you can get in the game, but the serial killer aspect, I have a lot of mods. And so her mom was like a gang boss and a serial killer and just very, very notorious. And if you don't have mods, then you could emulate something like that by just having a really mean Sim who just beats everybody up and has a horrible reputation. Like, it's possible to emulate things like that without having mods. But anyway, her mom is a serial killer. And Jade here is materialistic, mean, self-assured. She's a kleptomaniac and a genius. She actually hacked her way into the school computers as a teen and cheated all of her grades up to an A. She never did homework a single time. She skipped class constantly. She became valedictorian from cheating all of her grades up. I did not expect that at all when I got the little valedictorian notice. It was so funny. But yeah, right here, valedictorian. She also had really bad character values growing up, so she's argumentative, but she is responsible and she is a genius. But she has a lot of emotional control, so she's never just gonna kill somebody because she's mad at them. And then her wife here is mean, nosy, loves outdoors, a party animal, and a kleptomaniac. So they are perfect together. And they had 2 little babies who are toddlers right now. And they had these 2 little sweet children as their heirs to the family fortune and to maybe continue Jade's mom's crime business. Cleo is inquisitive. She is very smart and wants to know things. She will be sort of the main heir to the family line, whereas Griffin just wants his parents to hang out with him more. He's very clingy. He just wants them to be around. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of drama between these 2 siblings when they finally become like teens, maybe even children. So just to show my Sims leaning into their traits, I'm going to have Cleo talk to her mom, Jade, and I'm going to focus on little inquisitive toddler things. She's going to ask her mom for a story. Her mom will probably tell her a story about beating somebody up or something. I don't know. And I'm going to have her ask for flashcards. She's going to learn basic needs. Griffin, on the other hand, look at him all alone in this big hallway. Why don't you come inside and you can try to talk to your other mom, who's currently in a really bad mood. It must have been from the party last night. I think they partied until about 7 or 8 a.m. and then they just slept for the rest of the day. So the babies were taken care of by the butler. Where is the butler anyway? My Sims have to be mean to her. So he's gonna do these kinds of interactions, blow a kiss, hug lovingly. He just wants to be close to his parents. I don't think she would be mean to her kids necessarily, but she just doesn't really pay much attention to them. Usually it's up to the butler to take care of the kids, but she is uncomfortable, so maybe. Okay, no, she's being good. Let's see their relationship with their kids. Yeah, so they're toddlers now, but it's only around halfway full for both of them. But what are their relationships with the nanny? It's definitely higher than with their moms. I do like that as a storyline, not in real life, but as a Sims storyline. When the parents are super busy or just kind of neglectful of their kids and there's a nanny or a butler around, it's nice to see when they get the highest relationship with the butler or nanny, because it just really shows the story playing out and it shows that relationship, and it gives you a lot of opportunity to make more tension in the family once they're older and just not close to their parents at all. And talking about tension in the family, that leads me to the third strategy of this video, and that is to let your Sims hold grudges. And not just hold grudges, but let that impact their relationships with their friends and family. So, in the game, when your Sim gets a negative emotion about another Sim, just for example, when a Sim dies, they're only mourning for 2 days, and then it's like the Sim never existed. They never feel sad about it again. It's just over. But you, as the player, have the opportunity to make it feel like your Sim is still grieving. And maybe they do that by lashing out, or maybe by distancing themselves from other Sims, or maybe bringing up old drama with some of their family members. There are just so many possibilities of where you could take past wrongs that have been done to your Sims and bring them up again in the future. Even if your Sim's little goldfish memory doesn't remember it, you remember it. And it did happen with your Sims. It's not like you're making up something out of thin air. You're playing into their past experiences, even though the game doesn't really do that. You can do it. So this family is on vacation right now in Mount Komorebi. So this is Nihira. These are her parents, Tanis and Isaac. And this, Farida, is her cousin. They actually grew up together in the same household, but Farida's mom is very high achieving. She's like a hotshot lawyer. She's super high up in her career. She had a very strict relationship with her mom. So her mom wanted her to be an overachiever and be amazing at everything. But Nihira, on the other hand, her parents were more into art and music. Her dad here, Isaac, he makes music for a living. So they were up to let her do whatever she wanted growing up. So she got into lots of creative things. And now she's a very successful actress. She's a proper celebrity. She makes a lot of money. But while growing up, because Farida had such high expectations placed on her, and her little cousin who she lived with was able to do whatever she wanted, Farida was jealous of Nihira a lot while they were growing up and was kind of mean to her sometimes. They had a bad dynamic when they were younger. I forget exactly what it was, probably difficult. But then once they became adults, I fixed that between them. Now they're jokesters. However, Farida, because of her upbringing with her mom and everything, she always felt like she just wasn't good enough. Like nothing she ever did would make anyone happy or make her good enough to allow good things to come into her life. So when she married her spouse, Chloe, this persisted. And with Chloe, she kind of just let things happen because she just wanted to make Chloe happy. She never wanted to do anything wrong. But that led to her getting really frustrated as she got older, and she actually cheated on Chloe. Now Nihira here, she knew about that. So she did not like that. But Farida and Chloe made things up. They stayed together. And then at Nihira's wedding, Farida started flirting with one of their mutual friends. So Nihira got really mad at her. She was like, "What are you doing? You already did this once. You almost ruined your life. And now you're going to do it again. I thought you were on a right track. I thought you were healing and becoming a better person." She actually kicked Farida out of the wedding. I wonder if it still shows that here. Oh no. It's been like a week in game. So it got rid of that sentiment, but she had a sentiment where she kicked Farida out of the wedding. We're gonna invite Farida over and we're gonna give her a piece of our mind. Insult? I feel like insult would be good. And then let's argue about, I feel like either career or parenting. Maybe parenting, because she's like, you're ruining your family basically. What are you doing? You keep doing the same thing over and over again. And Farida's like, well, you're perfect. You've always been perfect. That's not my problem. You don't understand my life. And actually, I just remembered I hated you when we were kids, so maybe I hate you again. So this is a long-standing build-up between them for this argument. They had that difficult dynamic as children because Farida had to be really high achieving while Nihira could do whatever she wanted. And then Farida almost ruined her family and marriage life by cheating. And then she made things up with her wife. And then she was about to cheat again at Nihira's wedding. So this has been building up for a long time, and Nahira has finally had enough of her older cousin's antics. Oh, no. I'm not done yelling at you. Don't go in there. You're not allowed in my family's vacation home. She's like, but we are family. And Nahira's gonna be like, not anymore. So let's argue about career. She's like, you didn't have to go into this career that you don't really like just because of your mom. You could have done what I did and pursue your passions. You didn't have to worry about money so much. And she's like, what are you talking about? You have no idea what it's like. And she's like, just quit your job. Do something you love. Maybe you'll be happier and stop ruining your own family. And she's like, just shut up, Nahira. You... Is she gonna tell her to break up with her wife? Let me see something. Nahira's gonna tell her, you should let Chloe go. This is the second time you've cheated on her. Oh, I forgot to mention, she didn't just flirt with that other guest at the wedding. They actually... They woohooed. Yeah, that might have been my doing, but I didn't do the flirting. I did not get them in a flirty mood. I did not build up their romance bar. I just said, you know what? Lean into it. It makes sense that Farida would do this. So Nahira's gonna tell her to divorce her wife. Let's see what happens. Oh, it is a mean interaction. Okay, try to break up. You're right. I can do so much better than her. Girl, she can do so much better than you. What? But Farida would say that. Farida would be like, yeah, I can do better. And Nahira is like, that's not what I meant. So that was strategy number 3. Let your Sims hold grudges. It's up to you to bring up those old things that your Sims definitely forgot about because they're not really programmed to remember all of that, but you remember it, so bring it up later. The next few strategies are a bit more straightforward to explain. So the first one is to have Sims with conflicting traits living together. Whether that's as spouses or roommates or even just siblings. Having that conflict really helps with storylines. I especially love it with sibling dynamics. I think it makes the game so much more interesting when your Sims are just complete opposites, but they have to kind of learn to live together and they can either resolve things or just hate each other forever. So this family had these plates of food on the floor when I loaded in, and it's not even by any of them. It's by a family friend who I guess came over and just left their plates on the floor. So just to illustrate this, I cheated them to be spoiled, and then I cheated the trash can to be full. Because the conflicting traits I'm going to show are Slob by Anthony here, and his wife, Chanel, who is neat. And I feel like when they first got together, they were super young, they were fresh out of high school, and, she saw that her boyfriend was kind of messy, and she was like, it's cute, we balance each other out, I help you clean, and you help me be more carefree. She was probably fine with it then. But now they have a teenage daughter and stuff. They've been living together for a long time and she's fed up with it. So he actually works from home all day while all the other adult Sims in the household go out during the day. She would come home from a long day of work and she would see the mess on the floor and be very upset about it because she's a neat Sim. So we're gonna argue about cleanliness. You can also do order Anthony to clean, but I think we'll argue about it first. And we'll see if that changes the dynamic between them at all. It might. Look at him, so happy and clueless. He has no idea what's coming for him. Okay, yeah, she is not happy with him. Oh, and he's like, whatever. Cleanliness is overrated. Why are you yelling at me? Your clothes are clean. I did laundry. Isn't that good enough for you? And she's like, but look at this trash can. Oh, yeah, he's like, but cleaning sucks. I don't like cleaning. She's like, but you have to clean. He's like, well, I peed myself last night, so I had to do laundry, so that's why I couldn't do dishes. And she's like, why did you pee yourself? So it didn't impact their relationship. They didn't get a difficult dynamic or anything, which is good. I don't think that would cause them to break up necessarily, but it is a start to more difficult things in their relationship. But they are compatible in lots of other ways. It's just kind of the cleanliness that they're not compatible at all. So that was just to show how you can have conflicting traits between Sims to not just have arguments, but even just to have them not be close to each other. Maybe they're family members, but they're really distant. It doesn't have to mean shouting at each other and insulting each other. It could just mean that they cut each other off and maybe don't want their kids to have anything to do with that person, If it's a sibling and they're just not close at all, they don't get along, and then they grow up and live separately, they'll tell their kids, hey, you're not gonna ever hang out with that side of the family. And that could create more drama. Maybe the kids want to meet that side of the family. You know, there's just so many possibilities for conflicting traits to lead to more storytelling possibilities. So strategy number 5 is to take cues from your Sims. And this could mean following whims, but the whims, I don't think it's the best system ever. But that's just one possibility of taking cues from your Sims. You can also take their cues from their mood. So he's mad that he lost an argument. So maybe he'll be like in a bad mood today. Maybe if anybody talks to him, he'll lash out. If anybody makes a face at the nasty smell in the kitchen, he might get mad at them. He'll be like, if it bothers you so much, why don't you clean up yourself? Maybe he'll do that actually. This is their son, Benji. So he's gonna come into the kitchen. He just got home. And if he makes a dirty face at the dishes here, then we're gonna get upset at him. Oh yeah, he just got this nasty thing. And Anthony is still upset from the argument where he was told to be more cleanly. And now his son just came in and is like, ew, Dad, why does it smell so bad? And he's like thinking about his argument he just had with his wife, and he's gonna do insult, but in my mind, it's, you know, if you want it to be so clean, why don't you clean yourself? That's like what he's saying. So that's how I'm taking cues from my Sim, because he already has an angry moodlet here about the cleanliness argument. And then his son came in and was like, ew, it smells bad. So he's lashing out, and now they have a difficult family dynamic. Oh, yes, of course. I will always say yes to that. And the cues that you take don't always have to be bad cues. I have Jake here who is in a relationship with Anthony's sister, A-Marie. And Jake really wants to get married to her. They have like a whole kid together, but they just didn't have time to actually have a wedding ceremony. But maybe he's getting really desperate. Maybe he's like, oh, we've been together for like a good 13 years now, and we have a whole teenager. When are we gonna, tie the knot on this? When are we gonna finally call this a marriage? So we're gonna have A-Marie come downstairs. And, they don't have that much money. Maybe they can't afford a wedding, and that's why they just haven't for so long. But he's like, I really want to marry you. I'm in a flirty mood, and I have this little whim to get married to you. So let's just do it. So I'm going to have them elope right now in this interesting outfit. I did not give her this. I would not do this to her. Maybe let's just put her in something a little bit cuter for her impromptu wedding ceremony. So they're going to look cute and stuff. And maybe their daughter will come watch the wedding. Yeah, there she is. Look, your parents are getting married. Aren't you happy? She looks bored. She's like, I don't care. They're basically married anyway. What does it matter if they have the paperwork? She looks so uninterested. All right, so that is showing how I take cues from my Sims. So if your Sim is in a bad mood from something and then someone does something near them that they don't like, why not yell at them? It just makes sense. So take cues from your Sims. That was strategy number 5. Now, the very last strategy for this video that I'm sharing is to be more mindful when you choose to cheat away annoying things in the game, because sometimes those annoying things can be cues to take from your Sim to deepen their relationships with their family and friends, or to give them more depth as a Sim. Personally, I do cheat things away when it's, for example, if my Sim has done something to complete her aspiration, but it's just not checking it off for whatever reason, like things like that where it's clearly the game being glitchy, I have no problem cheating that away. But there are plenty of other things where it might be something annoying, but it could also be something that leads into storytelling. So we are back with Nahira and her family who are on vacation in Mount Komorebi. And oh, he's having an emotional meltdown. So this is Nahira's son, Manny. And he is like super close to his grandparents. Here's one of his grandparents here. She's still in her young adult outfit. I haven't gotten around to changing that. They're super close. He loves his family so much, and the moodlet just disappeared. But I'll go over to his little sister because she also had the moodlet of something's not right. Maya has a horrible feeling that something isn't quite right with one of her guardians. They went out to dinner last night and their parents had a couple drinks. And Manny also had that moodlet, and then it just went away. Like, 5 seconds ago. But anyway, he had it. And now he's having a little meltdown from it. And his little sister is still sad about it. And Manny is super close to his family. Like, these are his grandparents. He has a full relationship bar with both of them. And so it makes sense that he might be upset seeing his parents be, drunk around their kids, maybe a little bit irresponsible. So maybe he didn't like that. And Maya is also feeling sad about it. So I could cheat that away because they're having a fun vacation. Everybody's having a great time. But I'm not going to cheat it away because it adds storytelling potential. Maybe she'll become obsessed with being responsible, and maybe she won't ever party once she's older. Maybe she'll just want to focus on good grades and getting a good job. And this is just one little moodlet. Like, this is going to go away in a few hours. But if more things happen like that as she's growing up, then I think that would be a great way to shape her life. I think that could be a really interesting storytelling possibility for her. That she would really not like Sims who party a lot. But Manny is already a teen, and he's having a meltdown about it. And that's from his little celebrity quirk that he got. But because he's a very family-oriented Sim, and he's having this emotional meltdown, that, to me, tells me that he's not going to like it whenever there's any kind of strife in his family at all. And that could lead to kind of maybe some toxic parenting in the future. Maybe if his kids have any problems, he'll kind of just want to swipe it under the rug and make everything be okay again. He won't like anything to be bad. And maybe that means he'll never fix anything. He'll just let things be kind of surface level perfect, but deep down, things aren't okay. And I just got a storyline for him. See? And of course, if you don't have mods, then your Sims won't actually get drunk. But there are so many reasons that your Sims might feel randomly tense or angry or sad, and you could make a storyline out of that. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing these 6 strategies I have to make my Sims' lives more dynamic and interesting. If you liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if there's any other videos you would like to see like this about how to make Sims' lives more interesting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!